Hello everyone, welcome back to Bowles Theory of Everything. Back indoors. I love indoors. Well, the outdoors has been glorious this year, lots of sunshine, but it's torture on those greens. So, how are we going to get on? First session indoors. Today, we're not going to look at the techniques such as how to draw to the bowl, how to find the right length. I've done lots of videos on technique, so have a good look at those. They're very, very important, but something equally important is in your mind. Here's a scenario. We're bowling dreamily along without being aware of what's actually happening in the match. Maybe we're tired. Maybe we're unadventurous. Maybe we're talking to the other players. Maybe we're thinking about what you're going to do after the match. Maybe we think, I'm going to bowl in my comfort zone. I don't want to look foolish. Maybe we think, well, we're okay. It's just, in the end, it'll change. It'll come out right. Perhaps our bodies are bowling to a muscle memory, not from what's actually happening on the rink. So you're getting messages that come in to your eyes and in your brain from the rink. But somewhere, your mind's got a memory and it's overruling what you're actually seeing. What's happening? We just seem to be bowling in a different game than all the other bowlers sometimes. Sometimes you're bowling the wrong line and short, and I'll talk about these in a minute, but sometimes you get to the end of a game and you have a feeling that there was some external force determining what was happening, and you're powerless to change. There's a predetermined course of the game. So, here are some examples of where you seem to be bowling in a different game. Firstly, bowling the wrong line. We start the game bowling the line we think is a path to the jack. And quite often, outdoors, we're too wide, and indoors, we might be too narrow, as an example. I've played on indoor rinks and bowled narrow for most of the game. I think I've got the right line. I think I'm trying to adjust it. And I keep going. I get to the end of the game and I thought, well, I didn't really find that. I should have bowled at the other hand. You've heard that on the rink sometimes, haven't you? Somebody's bowled down one side and then it's blocked. They bowl the other side. They're right on the jack, and we say, "You've been bowling the wrong hand, mate." What I should do is adjust my line or position on the mat. Try something different. If your line isn't working, try something different and change it. So you can go wider on the mat, narrow on the mat, move the mat up, take a different line. Whatever it is, you've got to change it and change it quickly. Second, you're bowling the wrong hand. Well, this is related to my previous point. If you can't find a consistent path to the jack with your favourite hand, and quite often this is a backhand, your favourite hand, you think, this is me, but for some reason, on this day, you're not getting to the jack. It could be the condition of the rink, it could be your delivery, you're not as supple, something a bit stiff, but whatever it is, you may be on a strange rink and it's just not working. You have to change. Indoors, particularly, usually you can bowl either hand. It's the same sort of speed, the same swing. There's no reason why you can't make that change. But don't get to the end of the game and somebody tell you, mate, you were bowling the wrong hand. I've got a video about bowling on one hand, so that might be useful to you to find out how to correct. If you're stuck on with one hand, try the change. Even in singles play, sometimes you have to bowl both hands, and certainly down the rink you have to bowl both hands. But if it's just not working, even as a lead, have courage and change. The next 2 points that you find yourself bowling in a different game is you're not looking at the jack and you're bowling to, your eyes taking you bowling to short bowls like that you can see I've set up on the rink there. So, the thing about looking at the jack is you can spend so much time looking at the line. You're worried, you're on a new rink, you're changing indoor to outdoor, you're trying to find your way between short bowls, you're worrying about the line, and goodness me, you're just bowling on the line. You're not thinking at where the jack is. So you've got to spend as much time, if not more time. You should know the line really. So spend a lot of time looking at the jack. It can move subtly every end. You've got to look at it carefully. What you do, you look at the jack, look at the jack, look at the line, look at the jack, look at the line, look at that. And so that you've imprinted the length of the jack in your mind. Build that into your pre-delivery routine, even if it means doing it deliberately. Obviously you can shift your eyes, but only at the last minute do you look down the line. Spend a lot of time before that locating the jack. Now sometimes you can't see the jack, of course, it's hidden. There you might want to look at a jack high bowl, I've got one there, or get your skip to stand alongside, say, here's the length you need to bowl, or visualize it. So you know the short bowls are there, it might be hard, but you've got to visualize something 3 or 4 feet past those short bowls, and that information in the brain has got to trump what you see there. It's got to take over what you're seeing with those short bowls. Don't let those short bowls imprint that length in your mind. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go down the other end and bowl. Now this is my first session indoors, so no doubt my first bowl will be a bit heavy, but I'm going to bowl 2 or 3, and luckily I only have one variable. I know the line here, I bowled here before, so my adjustment is one of weight. Okay, so I'll walk down the other end and do the demonstration. So I've got about a 3/4 length jack, and I'm going to see how this bowls. I've had to change my technique outdoors to combat the slow greens, so a lot of that is going to be embedded in my mind. I doubt I'll be able to get it. I'll try to bowl that short length, but it's probably going to go a bit past. I know the line, so here I go. Yes, you see, it has gone past, and I thought I'd bowl a good length there. The line isn't bad. So now I've got to really, really concentrate on the length. I mustn't be distracted by those short bowls either. Look at that wing bowl, pick the line, and take a much more compact swing. I think that's a bit better. We'll see. There it goes. Round the short bowls. And good result. I won't bowl anymore because that's a perfect demonstration. I'll now come back and sum up. So what I've described there is a number of scenarios where you seem to be bowling in a different game. So what do you have to do? You've got to be plugged into the actual game. You must not be in another imaginary game of your own. If you are, you need a mental adjustment rather than a technical change. Okay, you can make some sort of changes, but more it's in your mind. You've got to get that length in your mind and your technique. You've got to be aware of what's going on in the match and the state of the green and how your opponents are playing. Don't drift. Be ready to change your game. Yes, you can move a mat, take a tighter line, put a yard on, try the other hand, bowl across the head if you must, but just do something. If you're the skip watching all this unfold, It's not rude to suggest a fix. In fact, it's helpful. You've got the best view of your teammate's bowl as it comes into the head, so feed back that information. I've got one proviso to all of this. Sometimes you have to hold your hand up when the opposition put their bowls right round the jack and you drop 2, 3, 4 shots. So, for example, you've got, if you're opposite number, and I've seen this, they bowl 2 or 3 bowls right on the jack. And you may have bowled fairly well, but yours might be a couple of feet away early in the game. And in fact, your bowls aren't bad. You're getting it away smoothly, you've got the right line. You've just need a small adjustment. Have faith. Keep sticking to your routine. Make those fine adjustments. You're on the right path. It's very, very unlikely that your opposition will keep plonking them right on the jack. So if you start poorly, it's sometimes only relative. Keep your head and rapidly improve. Just keep the faith. No, not necessarily have to change. That's the one proviso I have to what I said before. What about today's session then? If there's one takeaway, it's this. Stop backing a losing horse. If your line or length isn't working, change something. If you feel you're playing in a different game, stop. Get right, go and have a drink, something, reset, restart. If you're watching someone else do this, help them out. If you've seen some of these habits in your own game, well, let's be honest, someone else's, drop a comment below. What's your top bowls habit that just won't die? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode of Bowls Theory of Everything. Bye-bye.